Good evening, good evening, good evening. It is Valerie McDowell, your writer, editor, author, book coach, and consultant, joining you live here on Write It Out Wednesday. I thought I'd come out in what I probably would have been wearing had I been where I was, but I'm getting a little ahead of myself. So let's just jump in. I'm going to put these on because it goes with the look that we're going with today. So it is the first Wednesday of the month, which means it's Write It Out Wednesday. And so this is what we're doing tonight, okay? I thought I'd be a little special today. Okay, see, I got a little glitter going on here. So for those of you who are just joining in, this is Write It Out Wednesday, where we put you back at the top of your writing list. And this is where all this stuff that gets in the way of you getting your writing done, this is where we put you back on top. Now, tonight's topic is special because, as you can see, I'm dressed a little differently than I normally am. And it's because of something that dropped in my spirit. And so I had to talk about it. I've shared a little bit with some people, but I said, you know what? You got to use what you have, because as writers, as authors, as published people, that this is what we write about. We write about our life. We write about the things that go on. And, this is an example of using what happens. Okay. So I got this title just dropped in my spirit. I had to talk about it. I was just like, really? And the title of tonight's Write It Out Wednesday is First Do No Harm. Okay. First do no harm. And you're like, wait, what? What's that got to do with it? Well, the thing is, for many people, that statement is from that Hippocratic oath that medical doctors take before they get fully licensed. And so in light of the situation that happened to me in the last few days, I just thought, absolutely, yes, that is the perfect title. So what is this all about? Well, one thing the pandemic has taught us is that through isolation, masks, vaccines, and boosters is to think of others. And that message came in loud and clear for me on Friday of last week. As part of my travel checklist, I took a COVID test at a drive-through, that was set up. That's part of my health plan. It's like one of those things you just say, hey, I want to come in, and they put you on the schedule. And I was like, let me just take care of these little things before I make my way out. And I figured I would be in and out and onto my plane at the crack of dawn on Sunday morning to my Caribbean island. So hence the outfit, ladies and gentlemen. But early the next morning, which would be Saturday, my day to finalize packing, cleaning, passport, travel docs, all that stuff, as well as what was I going to be wearing on the plane, I got a message from my health plan that said that I was positive for COVID. What? I was like, no. And I was like, no. I was shouting in my head. I was like, definitely not the news that I expected, especially since I didn't have any symptoms. I wasn't sick. I wasn't coughing. I hadn't lost any taste or smell or any of those things. I didn't have a fever. And I was like, man, what is this? So I had to take a deep breath. And my next steps were, and I will admit, I did think about this at first, was like, okay, no, it's good. You can still go. I will triple mask and wear a shield, because the U.S., they just threw out all the mask requirements, and they don't even check people. I checked with my airline. They were like, no, we don't check. You don't have to wear a mask. And I was like, nor on planes, trains, and automobiles. And we know that. I was like, I actually was hoping it would still be in effect when I traveled, but they just lifted it like a week or so ago. Anyway, I'm thinking nobody's going to check. I'll just get to my destination because I really needed to be away. I don't have to be around people. And because I know me, I do much better when I go away. It's like, ooh, I got to get away. But my concern started to become, will I be able to get back into the U.S. because of all the unmasked people that's traveling here and there and everywhere now? So it's just like, oh, man. And, that was serious, because it's like, I know some people that didn't get back in the U.S. after traveling abroad because they didn't pass the COVID test. So ultimately, who I am and what I represent and what I've been practicing for over the last 2 years is helping my clients go from idea to publish. And I have to think about you others. I have to think about others and what I do. And that really resonated for me. It was like, you know what? It's like, this isn't even a hard decision you have to make. It's like, because in your day-to-day work, when you're working with your clients, when you're helping your people go from idea to book, when you're helping them get to publish, you're always thinking about other people. You're thinking about the best way to present them, the best way for, what their book cover should look like, their layout, what's the best word for them to use, how the introduction should be. So all of those things, I think about you guys. I pray for you, all kinds of things. And I was just thinking, like, if I think this much about my clients, how much more am I going to think about myself and other people, even in another place, another island, another country where I would be going? So I literally had to ask myself 3 questions. Number 1 was, could I go? Probably. Number 2, would I have been able to declare on that form that they give you, whether you've been around anyone with COVID in the last 14 days, or if you have COVID? I would have had to say no. I could not answer that in the affirmative. And number 3, would I have had a great time? Maybe guiltily. But again, the thing is, when it comes to the work I do, supporting and helping others write and publish their life stories, my good name is all I have, okay? And the name that I have already is on a travel list, okay? And it would have been with the Maryland Department of Health, which has been calling me daily, no doubt. And then perhaps Jamaican tourism, the resort I was going to, like, my name would have been in all kind of places that it just didn't need to be. And so I was like, how many places would have to be contacted because I made a decision to keep going despite information that I knew? And at the end of the day, I was like, that's just not who I am. So, with great disappointment, I made all the cancellation calls and texts to say, still here, but having peace that I did the right thing. Now, I'm sure you're probably asking, how does this apply to me? What's this got to do anything with writing my book? Well, the thing is, if you look deep enough, there's always a story, even in your disappointments, choices, and your decisions. And by doing what is right, the outcome will be better for all. So trust. And I thank God for travel insurance, that I always get travel insurance. I did not lose my money for the cost of the trip and all the things I was going to do. And I have actually a whole nother year to use it. And I'm believing that this delay, which is the second time I have not been able to go to this island, that there is some purpose in that. And that I'm believing that my next trip, my next excursion, the next thing that I'm supposed to do, whatever is next for me, will be even better than what was planned. So, what is the lesson here? What is it that I'm saying to you guys? That sometimes things come out of left field. You didn't expect it. There was nothing to prepare you for it, nothing that made you think this is what was going to happen, especially when you did all kinds of other things for it to go in a different direction. But sometimes you have to just shift and adjust what's going on. And, the thing is, you have to think about others when it comes to some of the decisions that you make. So as I titled this, First, Do No Harm, that is my message to you. Do no harm, but keep writing. All right. So I'll see you soon, perhaps at an island or another location real soon. But in the meantime, I'll check in with you next time. Until then, this is Valerie McDowell, your writer, editor, author, book coach, and consultant, and I'll see you soon. Bye.